Oh, g'day everyone. I'll be honest, I had the same plan you did, but none of us won Powerball. $200 million has gone, whether it's been won or not, we'll find out in the next little while. Certainly no, I didn't. But today was the day where people thought they were lined up around the block. How would I spend $200 million? It is the fun thing about playing Lotto, despite the fact we all know your chances of forfeits are bugger all. What would I spend $200 million on? I had a whole plan, wonderful ideas, but alas, we'll just have to park those for another day like the rest of Australia. But what about our mates over at Channel 2? Always, super serious people. They put out a news story today that they have reworked tonight. Now, the headline currently reads on the website that, look, lots of people are going to buy, but chances of winning a remote. No. The original version of this headline was that you have more chance of dying tonight than you do of winning Powerball. What a happy lot they are. Now, anyone who's ever gambled knows probably not going to win. But for a couple of hours, you can just dream just a little bit that I'm going to win my slice of the whole whack of 10 million, 20 or 200. Your chances of dying were more likely than winning Powerball. Well done, Channel 2. Always looking for the positive angle, aren't you? Now, a little bit of news that I want to bring you right now, which is, as we know, so often the Prime Minister has talked about how the focus is on cost of living, and we know that that has resulted in the main reason why he says he needs to break his promise when it comes to tax cuts.
A plan to address cost of living, take pressure off cost of living, pressure off the cost of living, cost of living relief, downward pressure on cost of living.
Well, and as we know, 4/5 of bugger all is what people are going to end up, a fistful of dollars, between $15 and $44 a week. And Labor MPs are being told, thanks to the great reporting of Shari, and make sure you watch her each and every night because she's got plenty of stories all the way through the show that become big news in a couple of days' time. So get the first run on it with her at 8 o'clock, then us at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock, of course, in Queensland. But, well, as the inflation numbers have come out, now her reporting, of course, was that the tax cuts were a solution to cost of living. But you and I both know that's garbage. We've made that point very well. But let's imagine $15 a week was the solution to cost of living. Well, the very same government that is giving with one hand has found a way to take with the other. An eagle-eyed friend of mine, Jason Morrison, who you just saw on with Shari, well, he noticed that there is a plan to increase petrol taxes, and it will start on Monday. You see, whenever the Bureau of Statistics puts out its quarterly inflation numbers, if inflation is at a particular rate, well, the indexation of things to some degrees, like pensions, but certainly to things like taxes, guess what ends up happening? They all go up as well. So we decided to double-check this today, and the Australian Tax Office has confirmed that there will be an increase to fuel tax on the 5th of February. 5th of February is Monday. How much are we talking? Now, this may not seem like a lot of money, but follow me through. The current tax rate on petrol is 48.8 cents a litre. It is now going to go up by the best part of a full cent to 49 cents in the dollar. Now, this is the highest rate we have ever charged tax on petrol. In fact, as I say, the old tax, 48, the new tax, 49, but go back to October in 2022, it was 46 cents. And back when they decided to halve the amount of tax, it was just 23 cents in the dollar that was being taken by the federal government. So compare where we were at the election, where it was 23 cents in the dollar, to Monday, where 49.6, rounded up, 50 cents in the dollar of every dollar you purchase petrol is going to the federal government that is apparently focused on cost of living. Now, the average Australian car takes between about 50 and 60 litres. If it's a little bigger, it is a little bigger. And if you fill it up each and every week, the total amount you will now be paying in tax to the federal government on petrol is $1,500. $1,500 a year in tax to the federal government on petrol. Now, they could halve that number if they truly cared about cost of living. They could do it with a stroke of a pen. If it needed to be confirmed by Parliament, no one, probably the Greens, but no one would vote against it. But think about it. All of this song and dance and ballyhoo about tax cuts, which, as we have shown you, when you break them down to what people actually get when they look at their pay packet every week, or if you get paid fortnightly or monthly, you can do the sums. But if you're on $45,000, and supposedly the reason the Prime Minister sold out was to save people on something like $45,000, it's $15 a week. Those people are now facing $1,500 in petrol taxes that have gone up by the same government that is claiming to care about cost of living. Of course, they don't. And in part, one of the reasons why they can turn around and offer this piddling amount of money is because they know it's going to come back to them via things like an increase in petrol taxes. Now, you would think that the Prime Minister, whose word is his bond, who cares about cost of living, who every single day around the cabinet table is searching for ways to save Australians money, well, he would do what the federal government could do to save $3 billion. Now, this is all it would cost. It would cost them $3 billion to halve petrol tax. They could do that for 6 months. Remember, last year they had a surplus of $20 billion. They'll have another surplus this year coming. Yet still, they took $1,500 off you last year. They're now giving you back $15 a week. And now they're going to increase petrol taxes on the average Australian to $1,500 a year. The Prime Minister has been asked directly about whether he would follow this policy. It will not break the bank, but it will help people with cost of living. Instead, no changes when it comes to indexation. Because, you see, they want to look like Robin Hood on one side, and then they're the Robin Hood on the other side as well. You are both the rich and the poor in this story. Let alone the sheer hypocrisy of a Prime Minister who, when he was applying for the job, was ramping up pressure on the previous federal government that ultimately resulted in petrol taxes being halved for the best part of 6 months, when he was aggro about petrol prices being, $1.79 in some parts of Sydney. Remember his tweet way back when? Do you reckon Scott Morrison has been to a petrol station lately? Petrol prices are surging on his watch. Well, what do we now say about Anthony Albanese when, if you check today on the NRMA, RACQ or RACV website, that the average price for unleaded in Sydney's $2.17 tonight, it's $2.07 in Melbourne, and it's $2.07 in Brisbane. Petrol is high. They could cut tax, but they won't, because if you're paying $2 a litre, then it turns out that $1 of every litre ends up being taxation. It's crazy, right? But $1,500 you're going to pay. I should say, 50 cents. But you end up paying those taxes. So, surprise, surprise, their word is not their bond. It is all BS. It is all spin. They don't care because they, of course, are either driven around in a chauffeured car or they get paid by you and I, the taxpayer, for them to fill their car up, and they don't even look what the price is. Meantime, people who supposedly all of the past couple of weeks have been about have got $15 a week extra to help pay for the very petrol that is going up in price and up in tax. That's why I don't believe these people. Never have, never will.